Hey guys, it's Wes. How are you doing? I'm sorry that I haven't posted many videos lately. I've been quite busy with other things, and I hope to share more about my personal life with you sometime soon. But today I want to talk about something different. As the video title says, I'm gonna share my thoughts on the current Israel-Hamas war as someone who has visited Palestine. For those who haven't seen my other videos, I usually make travel content around the world. In 2022, I traveled to Palestine and posted several videos on YouTube. Recently, a lot of new viewers have come to my Palestine travel videos, likely because the region has been gaining a lot of attention lately. While I understand that the topic is controversial and there are many discussions in the comments, I'm grateful for those who said that they appreciate me sharing the real lives of Palestinians through my videos. I'm really thankful for those responses, and I feel like I should share my thoughts as someone who has been to Palestine and created content there. I've been sharing my thoughts on other social media like Instagram, but I haven't really talked about it on YouTube, so I made this video. Just a heads up, I prepare notes to keep my points clear, so please don't mind if I look away from the camera sometimes. I'd really appreciate it if you watch until the end. That's all for the introduction, and let's get into the topic. For those not very familiar with the region geography, Palestine consists of two territories: the West Bank, governed by the Palestinian Authority, and the Gaza Strip, governed by Hamas. In 2022, I traveled to the West Bank, where the situation is different from Gaza, but I still saw the tough and unfair lives Palestinians face under Israeli control, which I will discuss in more detail later. First of all, I want to make it clear that I oppose any violence against innocent civilians, whether they are Israelis or Palestinians. Since the current conflict started, we've seen news of cruel treatments against civilians on both sides. These war crimes must be addressed by international law, not by taking revenge and causing more deaths. And the genocide and the war crimes currently happening in Gaza in 2024 should never be accepted legally and humanely, and must be stopped immediately. Since I already saw people suffering in the West Bank before the war, it's heartbreaking to see people in Gaza experiencing something even worse and more horrific. Israel says it's to destroy Hamas and release the hostages, but the way they are killing tons of innocent civilians is very inhumane and against international humanitarian law. Some people blame Hamas for starting this war, but I don't think that's entirely true. To be clear, I want to emphasize that what Hamas did is also horrific and should be condemned by international law, just as well as Israel. With that said, we must acknowledge that Israel has been illegally occupying Palestinian territories for decades. While I've been to the region, studied the conflict, and have friends on both sides, I don't believe I'm in a position to declare whose land it is based on history. That discussion should be held between the parties involved, following the appropriate rules, whether it results in a one-state solution, a two-state solution, or another arrangement. However, Israel is just rejecting all the mandatory rules and occupying the land, completely ignoring the green line set out in the 1949 armistice agreements. That's the problem, and it should not be accepted in our modern society. If you watched my other videos from the West Bank, you know how restricted Palestinian lives are under Israeli control. They can't move freely due to numerous Israeli checkpoints. Much of their infrastructure is under Israeli control, and many Palestinians are forced to leave their homes because the Israeli government keeps building illegal settlements in Palestinian territory every year. Some people claim those measures are necessary to protect Israelis from terrorism by Palestinians. As much as I understand the need for protection, I don't think it justifies all of their policies, because those terrorists are just a small portion of the Palestinian population, and the violation of many innocent people's human rights should not be allowed. And if you look at the data, over the past decades, Israel has killed many more Palestinians than Palestinians have killed Israelis, and most of the victims were civilians. Although the situations in the West Bank and Gaza are different, if you look at what Israel is doing in the West Bank with a more peaceful government, you can't help wondering what would happen in Gaza if Hamas didn't govern it. Again, I am completely against what Hamas did, and they should be condemned just as well as Israel. But this is why I don't understand how some people only defend Israel, ignoring the fact that it has been creating this terrible situation for Palestinians for decades. Even if Israel destroys Hamas, I don't think it will bring the peace they seek as long as Israel continues to illegally occupy Palestine and take people's lives. It will likely just lead to the formation of another rebellious group by other Palestinians. Hi, I recorded this part separately a few days before releasing this video. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I feel it's necessary. Originally, I wasn't gonna mention specific war crimes or political actions in this video because there are too many to cover and the situation changes weekly. However, a horrific massacre in Rafah by Israel just happened, and it feels wrong not to address it. A couple of days ago, an Israeli airstrike killed dozens of people in the Rafah tent camp, including many women and children. I've already seen videos of beheaded kids and people burned alive. This is one of the most horrendous massacres by Israel since the war started. What's so dreadful is that when there were just rumors of babies being beheaded by Hamas, the whole world went crazy, even though there are no pictures or evidence. Even Joe Biden mentioned it. But now there are pictures and videos of headless babies in Rafah, and so many people are silent. I'm sorry if I'm being a bit emotional, but I feel the need to address this. Please look up this massacre in Rafah if you're not familiar with this nightmare. I'm also frustrated with how many Western countries, especially America, turn a blind eye to or even support Israel in committing these crimes, even the current genocide. I've been living in different countries in Europe for the past couple of years. Although people are talking more about the region since the war started, I remember being shocked before the war by how many people here were either misinformed or uninterested in Palestine's situation and in their governments supporting Israel's illegal actions against Palestine. When I told people I've traveled to Palestine, many of them reacted with comments like, "Isn't it very dangerous and full of terrorists? Why did you even go there?" But I've never got the same reaction when I said I've been to Israel. Of course, I've also met a lot of knowledgeable and open-minded people here as well, but I'll still get the impression that quite a few judge the situation without understanding it. They somehow blindly believe that Palestine is the uncivilized and dangerous side, so that Israel and their supportive government are doing the right thing by controlling it. The reasons why many people think this way could vary, such as diplomatic reasons with Israel, a sense of guilt towards Jews, or discriminatory feelings like racism or Islamophobia. No matter the reason, I think people should know more about how Palestine has been treated by Israel. That's one of the reasons why I visited the West Bank and shared my experience on YouTube. But to be honest, I also feel like those videos only reach an audience that is already interested and knowledgeable about the region, and don't reach the people who actually need to learn about it because of how the algorithm works on YouTube and social media. So I'm not sure how much impact my work has. It could be actually really small, but I still feel blessed to have some people interested in my channel and content. So I want to keep making videos like this to raise awareness. Before ending this video, I want to emphasize that so many people in both Israel and Palestine want peaceful dialogue and oppose these violent acts. Not everyone in the country supports their government. So it's important to be aware that we are accusing the government and its supporters, but not the entire population or a certain religion, because generalization like that can lead to discrimination against certain races or religions. I see a lot of that on the internet, and it's very dangerous and should never be allowed. So if you leave a comment on this video, I'd appreciate if you keep that in mind so some people don't get hurt by offensive remarks. One of the things I love about traveling is that even if a culture or religion seems completely different, when you actually talk to people in the community, you realize that we are much more alike than different. I want to keep sharing that experience through my travel videos, and I hope you guys will enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and see you in the next video.